Recording.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Team Call. I'm so excited. Tonight is going to be so much fun. It is our convention highlight recap. I love admitting 100 million people at one time. This is so fun. I can't wait for you guys to hear from several of our ambassadors. I will kind of like close this up at the end, but they're each going to take just a couple minutes, and they're going to talk about some of the things we learned, some of the things that impacted them, in hopes that it really inspires you guys to not only make sure you're at the next convention, but also that it can kind of light a fire under you guys. And then of course, if somebody says strikes you, like, don't be afraid to message them and be like, hey, can you just like tell me a little bit more about that? Can you like, maybe just share your notes or whatever the case may be. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, let them start. And then, like I said, I will wrap us up. I'm gonna try and be done by 9. It's gonna be a tight one. I know Elevate's right after this. So, okay. Is Rebecca on here? Yes. Rebecca Thompson, can you kick us off?
Sure. Convention was amazing. That was my first in-person convention. Last year I couldn't make it. And just getting to Nashville and seeing Plexus on everything. It's literally flashing on the Music City neon board. So that was really amazing. And I'm going to speak real quick about Jamie Haskin. She's one of the Plexus One nominees that was honored this year. And she talked a lot about our confidence. We went to convention and we weren't pushed to sell products all day long, every day. We were educated and we were informed about how to build ourselves up and how to build our Plexus family up and take care of ourselves. But her, after she got her award, she talked about confidence and how we elevate our own beliefs. And we build belief in the product by being consistent, watching product videos, watching testimonies. We build belief in the business by, joining the community. And we build belief in ourselves with our personal growth and training. Her way to being confident was to get uncomfortable. Doing things that will make us uncomfortable, we have to be willing to do that. Instead of taking the easy road, we need to do the uncomfortable things like going live, calling people, picking up the phone, talking to people. Paige at Cracker Barrel was talking to the waitress and gave her business card out. So we have to be willing to do those things, to be uncomfortable, to get to the places that we want to be comfortable later in life at. And then one of her last things was, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that really struck home to me, because you think about it, if you want to be successful, you have to put yourself around people that are successful and have the same mindset. And that's what, especially like with our team calls and stuff like that, we have to be putting ourselves around that constantly. And then something else real quick is, I wanted to talk about when we got there, walking around, there's thousands of people. But in the crowd, I hear my name, Rebecca, and I turn around and it was Cheryl, one of our diamonds. And also the same thing happened with Phil, Megan's husband. They recognize us. They know us personally. And they stop and take the time out of their day or their, this big convention where there's other people there to recognize us. And that just spoke volumes to me, because when you're in bigger companies and you may not be seen, you may not be heard or appreciated, but each and every one of them, Alita, Megan, Cheryl, even Phil, were appreciative of us. And Alita even opened her home up. 37 weeks pregnant. She was getting ready. I'm literally ready to pop. She opens her house up to us to honor us. So that's all I want to just say. We are seen and we are heard in this community. So thank you.
I love that so much. So much. I could recap it a bajillion times. All right, Deborah Ann, where are you? There you are.
Here. Hello. So this is my second convention, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure there's any place in the world that I would have rather been than Nashville. I've never been there before, so it's not like somewhere I've been to and experienced before, but holy crap, that place is my jam. Give me all the live music, all the line dancing, all the things. And we didn't even get to go out that much. So the fact that I feel like I got such a good experience of what the city was like, I feel like is props to Plexus, because they kind of immerse you in the culture and the environment there, which is freaking amazing. I got to go to the gala with Caitlin, and we had a live band there. I earned winner's dinner, and we had a live music there. It was just, I literally text my husband and my best friend who does not do Plexus with me, which fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed, but who doesn't do Plexus with me. And I'm like, listen, we have to go here. Like, I need an adult trip and I just need to come here and soak it up. So anyway, I loved it, obviously. I'm not sure that anything will ever beat Nashville as far as being in the United States, but we had such a great time. So I am going to quickly touch on, we had breakout sessions, workshops that were specifically designed for where we were at in our business. So it was divided up by rank. And the speakers, I don't know about how everyone else's experience was, but the speakers at the senior gold and below workshop, if you missed that, I am so sorry, because it was literally the best. Like, it was like, I would say, compared to gold school, like right top notch. There was 4 diamonds that spoke, and they all touched on like a different topic, but these were all like the best of the best. Like, they were just really good at engaging you. It was just amazing. So Christina Williams, I have found maybe my new favorite. I think I have to follow her, and just, so if you know me, I'm very like blunt and straightforward with things, and she is 100% that way, and I love it. So she came out on stage and she talked about grit. And I think this is something that really hits hard with me, because I have done other hard things, right? And when we're thinking about like building a business in network marketing, it's not an easy thing, but it's a simple thing. So it's just like a fitness journey, or a getting healthy journey, or a losing weight journey, or getting in the best shape. You're setting a goal that you're taking baby steps to get to. And the bottom line is that it's simple to do those things. Like, it is simple. If you follow the steps, you will get there. But it's the people that fall off, or you're not consistent or whatever, and you're not following the steps. So like, that's what she came out and talked about. And she's heavily involved in the fitness industry, which I feel like also helps me relate to her so well. But she talked about grit, and basically just showing up and doing the things that 99% of people won't do. Like, showing up and not giving up. And like, she said a few things that like, I just feel like hit home big time for me. She said the difference in a high performer, the only difference in a high performer and a normal person is the thought that it can be done. So like, just knowing that it can be done if I just continue doing the things. Like, instead of, oh my gosh, I've been doing these things for 2 months and I'm not where I want to be. Like, because every single person, and this is something I heard from all of the diamonds, every single person's journey is different. So like, you cannot say like, okay, well, if I don't go emerald in 6 months, then I'm done. Because the bottom line is, if you don't quit, you will get there. And it's not going to look the same for you as it might look for everybody else, or whatever it is. Like, you see diamonds that didn't go diamond for 10 years. You see diamonds that went diamond in a year. Like, there is no like formula, right? You just have to do the basic things and keep going over and over and over again. So she gave us four things that she said like you should master to be very successful in this business. The first one was recruiting. The second one was retention. The third one was mastering duplication. And then the last one was leadership. So I have like notes and things that I can share with you guys, but it was just an experience. Like, you get to see all the exciting things on everybody's stories, right? And the posting and the parties and the music and like, obviously it is amazing for that. But like Rebecca said, I don't think I was in one session or whatever you want to call it, that they actually talked about like sales tactics. I think literally every single time someone got up on the stage, it was always connected to your mindset and making yourself a better person and loving on people. So like this, it's not a normal network marketing company. I have been to other conventions for other companies. It is not the same. It is a completely different experience. And honestly, it's life-changing. So make it a point to get to Vegas next year. Kate said this in the chat. The rooms are cheap. Get your ticket, book your room. All you have to do is put a deposit down and just go. Like, don't second guess yourself and don't let the excuses come. I mean, I was 30 weeks pregnant. I could have just said, I'm just too pregnant to go. Because I was for sure swollen and I'm for sure got my butt kicked. Like it's day 2 and I'm still like, "Ugh." But that's it.
I love it. Thank you. Danielle Valero.
Hi guys, I apologize now if you hear anything on the loudspeaker. I'm at the hospital with my mom, but here we go. Okay. So like everybody else has said, if you haven't been to a convention, you need to be at the next convention in Vegas, because can I just tell you that the fire it lit under my behind is like no other. Like meeting the people and connecting with others, even if it's just on our team, like it just does something for you. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys about John Maxwell because I love him anyways, but being able to be there and see him in person and listen to all of his things was a complete game changer. So he was basically saying you need to prepare your people for failure. Don't just talk about all of the glitz and the glamour and all of the things. They need to have some kind of relational feel to you, that it's normal for you to miss, for failures, for losses. Like your people need to have realistic expectations of what it is that they're going to be doing. You want friends in the long run and not fans, right? And you're never going to be good at this the first time. Like Megan is still figuring it out and she's a diamond. Like there's still things that Megan is learning. You always want to keep your failures and successes together every day, win some, lose some. It's a balance because it's going to teach you humility and resilience all the time. If you can say, okay, this loss is setting me up for a win in the future, you're going to be golden, right? Another thing that I love that John Maxwell said is that he does a learning lunch every month. And he takes somebody that is more advanced than him, higher up, that he looks up to, and he literally asks them, what is the most important lesson that you've learned in your life? And it helps him grow as a person. And if John Maxwell is still learning and still trying to get better, I mean, we seriously have no excuse, right? He also said you need to understand the differences between a good miss and a bad miss. A good miss, you're going to fail, but it helps you get closer to whatever the thing it is that you set out to do, right? He says it makes you make adjustments. A good miss, you're going to make adjustments. A bad miss is going to set us back because we're making excuses. And it's impossible, which this completely blew my mind. He says, it is impossible for you to go from excuses to success. And when he said that, I was like, oh, it's like smack in the face. And he says a lot of the time, a good excuse to us, a good excuse will make sense, right? Like, oh, I have no time because I'm always with the kids. But that's exactly why it makes it a good excuse, because in your brain, you're washing it to make it seem like it's understandable, because an excuse is never good, right? He also says that you need to remember that everything that you want or is worthwhile is uphill, right? We all have uphill hopes, but we have downhill habits. Like, was it him that said? Yeah, it was him. He said, he had somebody come to him and says, I want to be like you, or I want to do what you do. And he said, yeah, I bet you do want to do what I do. He's like a top selling, New York's top selling author, like all of the things. But do you want to do what I did to get there? Right? Like you have to want to do the stuff that he did. Right? Like you can't, there's no shortcuts to success. So in the long run, you basically have to do what you're supposed to do. You have to know that your first responsibility of any leader is to define the reality. And reality says that I have missed this, but it also tells you that you can either adjust or you can make that excuse, because your best excuse is your worst excuse because you believe it. And so all of this together was like, damn, like there's no, like, I can say whatever, like tonight I could have said, nope, I'm not speaking tonight because I'm in the hospital with my mom. I'm not going to do that. Or I'm not going to send any more messages because I'm at the hospital with my mom. My mom is the one that's sick. I'm not sick. Like, like, I mean, there's no more making excuses, because if I want to be an emerald next year on stage, I'm going to have to work my ass off like Megan did, like Kate did, like everybody else that has been there before. And if I'm going to sit here and make excuses, I'm never going to get there. So if you can do yourself any favor, just know, write this down. Your best excuse is your worst excuse because you believe it. And there's no excuse why you can't get this done.
Oh my gosh, I could cry because I'm smiling so big.
Mic
I
drop.
love you. Yeah,
You gotta
I'm
say-
proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Yes. Oh, yes. All right. I don't want to get too far behind you. All right, Stacy, let us have it.
Hey guys. Hopefully Sydney doesn't start being crazy while I'm doing this. But I am doing Sarah Ross. She is a neuroscientist, and she's a motivational speaker. She came to talk to us. She helps people with their sense of aliveness and how to reshape their work ethic and reveal their life. So that's what she's mostly. She wants to draw on the book that I'm reading my notes from. Riley, can you get Sydney? She keeps grabbing this book from me. I'm sorry. So she was really great, very energetic, and I just loved her. I really loved her smile. She had the biggest smile, and I just loved what she had to say. So she told a story right at the beginning about 2 baskets being carried up a hill. So one basket carried a bunch of water, and the other one only carried like half the amount because it had a small hole and leaked water all the way to the village. So I guess one day the basket said to her, "I'm so sorry, that I can't carry as much water as the other basket." And the woman looked at the basket and said, "Why would you be sorry? Every day when I carry you to the village, there is water leaking down the path and flowers grow. You water these flowers all the way to the village. So why would you want to be like the other basket? Because this is what you do. This is why you're special." So basically saying, you don't want to compare yourself to the other basket. Just because you don't carry as much as that basket doesn't mean you don't do better or other things than other people. So basically just saying, don't compare yourself to others. And I loved that story. What else? She talked about a negativity bias. She said, you ever get pre-annoyed by something, like you already know something's going to happen. And she showed this really funny picture of like a cat with a squished up face. Like, do you ever get pre-annoyed? You think about how somebody is or how you've experienced certain situations and you just are already negative before it even happens. So she's saying, by doing that, you're making things more difficult before they even happen. So get rid of the negativity, be positive, and she just wants to come in here with me. And then she said, don't confuse facing difficult things for making things more difficult. So basically, you make things more difficult by knowing and thinking that they're difficult. If you say, I can do this, and not, I can't do this, you're going to be more likely to do it because it's in your mind. And then she had a poem that her mom read. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I know we're short on time, but I'll post the picture of it in the chat so everyone can read the poem. Her mom was dying of cancer and wrote a beautiful poem about pretty much about life and how you have to struggle through it. So I'll post that in the group chat or to the Diamond chat.
I love it. Thank you so much. Yes, love it. All right, Jean Bean.
You always crack me up when you call me that. So this is my second convention, and I'm in 3 years now. And I've heard it over and over and over and over from Caitlin, from Paige, from so many people about mindset and working on your mindset. I don't know what it was about this weekend, whether my heart and my ears and my head was finally ready to hear it. But I did have a mind shift, and I realized that I'm holding me back. And part of it is my age, because I don't think that I can do it at my age, like advance and get to the top. And I'm holding myself here instead of being open to what's possible. And I can't expect to lead others if I don't work on myself first. And Caitlin asked me to sit with her the very last session, and I told her this. And one of the things, I don't even remember who she was, Caitlin, maybe you remember, but she was a diamond. I think she was she was from somewhere else. And Caitlin says, and she looks 30, doesn't she? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? She don't look 30. She goes, she's not. And it just was like, it was eye-opening. And funny thing that someone said to me that was not a diamond, was not a jewel, but I heard several times through the weekend was comparison is the thief of joy. And if anybody knows me, my word has been joy for several years. And so I can't expect to get joy if I'm always comparing myself to others and telling myself that I can't do it because of my age, because I don't have a degree, or because, whatever reason, because we're retired and we travel. That's an excuse. And excuses are like buttholes, and we all got them. So get off your butt and do something. And that's what I intend to do. And I got up at 5:30 this morning, and I've been going ever since. And that's all I have to say.
I love it. It was Brenda Croft from Australia.
Oh, I knew she was from somewhere else.
Yes. I very quickly started pointing all those things out to Jean, and I was like, oh, this girl's, I'm like, how many years have you been married? And what did you say it was? 43 or something?
It'll be 40.
40. And I was like, oh, this lady's been married 43 years. So how old is she? And she's like, I don't know. It depends when she got married. I'm like, and she's like, oh, I see what you're doing here. I'm like, I'm going to keep sharing profiles for you to follow until you get in your head that it doesn't matter how old you are. So, all right, Paige. And then I'll.
Guys, that was absolutely incredible. I am going behind the scenes because there was so much at convention that you need to be at because it was on the screen and because you were in a room. But there is so much behind the scenes at convention that you have to be a part of. And there were just so many events. First off, I met a gal at my very first Super Saturday. It was one of the only major in-person events that I attended until we were shut down. And we've been following each other, but we have not, she is in New York City. We've not connected. And from across the room, she screams, and we connected. And those hugs are priceless. In one of my very last sessions, and I'm gonna echo Deborah Ann. I was in the Ruby Senior Ruby at the last session, and that session was absolutely incredible. But what happened before that session? I was in the back, and I connected with Amanda Cardone from the larger team, First time I'd seen her in a long time, got a hug. We were just connecting. And in walks a woman wanting to charge her cell phone. And in amongst, it was a moment in time that I shall never forget. Because in the connection, I discovered that she's from my home state. And you guys know I'm 2,500 miles from my home state. And she's from Idaho. But not only is she from Idaho, she's from Nampa, Idaho. That's very close to where I grew up. And when we start connecting even further, she knows my people. She knows some of the very favorite people that aren't even in her state, that are a state away. And we connect over that. So it is those moments that God just reminds you that he sees you, he loves you, and he's got moments at convention just for you. One of my very favorite things is one in the end sessions that were shared is that Alec Clark, founder and CEO of Plexus, comes into the office every single morning, and the first thing he does is write handwritten notes to not only employees, but ambassadors, friends, family, handwritten. Do you not think you want to say you're too busy? He has a whole company on his shoulders. And I got a rare opportunity to be in a group. There were just 4 of us in line to take a picture with Taro. And it was the most precious moment, because there were 3 girls ahead and 2 girls were getting pictures. And there's one that was off. She was a little bit heavier, not near as confident. And there's no way she was getting in a picture with Taro. And I was trying to encourage her to take a picture with Taro. And Taro comes over to her and says, I waited all day to get a picture with you. That's the kind of leadership we have, guys, is people that love you. They're here in this company to make you better, to give you the tools to move your business forward, to give you the tools to walk away from your fears, to walk away from your insecurities, to walk away from all of those things that the world's told you. The deal is, you got to walk. You got to use your 2 feet and you've got to walk. So that's really mine, guys. You're not going to go into that room. It's not a huge rah-rah session. It's not like anything you get to decide what you take away from that room. And for me, it's all of those things that are on the screen, all of those, sessions that we got to be a part of, but it's also watching the connections. One more, at the concert, we'd commented, because guys, I love to watch what other people are wearing. I love to see how they rock something that there's no way on earth. But we had commented that we had never seen 2 of the same dress. And I show up at the concert at the end, and guess what? I'm in the same dress as somebody else. And before Plexus, this would have made, I would have died. I would have died and gone, I would have left, but she's going, I see you're rocking that dress, but at the end, I went out to get some water and she's standing there and it's like, I got to take your picture. And when you realize that God connects you even in the same dress, because you need a connection with that, with her, and she's Senior Ruby. So there were so many connections that, wearing the same dress, I would have never talked to her in 1,000 years, but God knew we needed the same dress in order to connect. And guys, these are connections that will go on, that will build, that will share, that will, that's what convention's about. So who is on board with getting their convention ticket next year? Who is on board with just doing it, scared, doing it? Let all the, let all the, things out the window. Who's going to convention and who are you taking with you? Because it matters. I do not think there is one of us that went to convention and came home the same. We've all been forever changed. That's why you need to be at convention. And guys, this is my first convention. I was not able to attend last year. So, I would encourage everyone to get yourself to convention. What we are seeing on our teams is our men are wanting to go with us. Hallelujah. So how many men can we get there next year? Team wide, how many men can we get there next year? So guys, thank you so much. It was incredible.
I love it. I love it, y'all. And like literally we could go on for hours. I could literally recap every single one of them. They could have gone on for hours. We learned so much. I just want to highlight that there is the new product Sleep. There is limited time only Cucumber Melon Hydrate. And there's also the new app Plexus Go. I will be putting a post in the team page about the app. It is super simple to use. I highly suggest downloading Plexus Go. You log into it with your regular Plexus login. You will be able to check your back office at a glance. You will be able to check your next order. You will be able to pull up all of the info sheets, ingredients. Pivotal is on the app. All kinds of different videos. It's going to keep track of your ranks. It is very, very, very user friendly, but I would highly recommend downloading Plexus Go, letting your level ones know. It's not like whether you do the business or not, everyone needs Plexus Go because like I said, they can check their next upcoming order. You cannot make changes from it for your order, but you can check your order. You can check ingredients, watch videos. Everything you need is in that app, which is super amazing, including Pivotal. So I just wanted to highlight those three things. We are going to Vegas next year. Some of you may be like, this one's barely over. Y'all already have rooms. Y'all, I had rooms when I was sitting in Nashville's airport. Like I ain't playing. Cost factor, this is the cheapest. Vegas is the cheapest place to go. Cheapest place to fly to, cheapest place to stay. So find your buddies, get a room now. You only have to put down the first night. When you're dividing it by 4 and rooms are like $129 a night, it's cheaper than cheap. Okay. Save your money now. Start talking to your teams now. If this business is something that you want to grow and you want to commit to, sign up now. Make the decision now that you're going. And I'll just piggyback on Paige saying like, you go in that room and you get so much out and you leave a different person and learn so much more. My stepdad always says, like, we have parties and stuff. He's like, well, if you didn't have fun, it was your own fault. Like, it was a great time. Everybody had a good time. If you left convention and you didn't learn something and you're not fired up and you don't feel like a different person or improvements have been made, it's your own fault. It's not by the lack of corporate productions. It's not by a lack of testimonies. It's not by a lack of the, coaching that we received and breakouts and worship. It's your own fault. It literally is life-changing. And if you can take some of the information and you can process that and apply it, you will have a totally different business 360 days from now, hands down. So I love you guys. Go ahead over to Elevate. I'm sure Megan and Phil they're talking about momentum, so it's great. Roll right into that. But I will post the recording. You can share with your teams. I think that's all. Thank you everybody for speaking. I love hearing from you. Bye guys.